Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of By the Way. I'm your host, Callie Reichert. Guys, it's the first episode of 2026. Happy New Year, everyone. This is so exciting. It's been literally the craziest past few months of my life, honestly. With me, I started my job beginning of November, then we had Thanksgiving, then we had Christmas, and then I just went to Passion. So I feel like I've been traveling nonstop and I haven't even really been home to record anything. So that's why the past few weeks there's literally just been radio silence from me because I haven't even been home to record. So I'm so excited to be back. I'm so excited to be here recording this episode. It just feels like a breath of fresh air because I've been wanting to be here and record for so long and I just haven't been able to. Also, I am on the verge of getting sick. I'm not actually sick, but I am just very congested. My throat's a little sore. So if I sound like I'm 5 octaves deeper than I actually am, that's why. Because I just not feeling the greatest, but I actually think I have a strong immune system. I don't want to brag, but I think I have a pretty strong immune system because I'm always the last person out of anyone I know to get sick, if I even get sick. Oh, wait, hold on. Here comes a sneeze. I think I'm okay. Okay. Let's get back on track. So anyway, I am a little nasally today, so that's why I sound like this. But anyway, guys, I'm just so pumped to be here. I've been dying to be back here and I'm so excited. And honestly, just with the new year being here, I thought it was just inappropriate to talk about anything other than New Year's goals and resolutions and how to keep your goals, practices to put in place to work towards your goals, to be able to keep them. Because one of the biggest problems we have when it comes to making New Year's resolutions is we just don't keep them. We don't keep our New Year's resolutions because one, they're either too unattainable or two, we just actually don't make specific enough goals to be able to take steps to be able to achieve them. We just create this really big, broad idea of what we want, but we have no action steps to actually get us there. So today, I honestly just wanted to talk about that. How do you keep your New Year's resolutions? How do you make goals that are attainable, that you can keep? So yeah, let's just go ahead and jump into that because I have a few tips that I want to share with you guys. Number one is to create very specific goals. So just say, for example, one of your goals was to lose weight or something like that, instead of being lose weight being one of the goals, what you need to do is to make almost smaller goals inside of that to be able to achieve that goal. So you could say work out at least 4 times a week. Or you could say go on a walk for 30 minutes 4 times a week. Make very specific goals that are going to get you to the point of where you're losing weight. Instead of just making this broad goal of I want to lose weight, put smaller sub goals into place where those are goals that are actually going to get you to your main goal. So for me, I really want to go on more walks because I just know how good they are for you. And I never go on walks, but I know it's so peaceful every time I do. And especially if I'm going on prayer walks, I love it. But I just never do it. And so one of my goals was to go on more walks. But instead of making a goal that was just go on more walks, what I did was I wrote down go on a 30-minute walk at least 4 times a week. And if you can get even more specific than that, do it. If your schedule allows for you to be go on a 30-minute walk after lunch 4 times a day. If you can get even more specific, if your schedule allows for it, then do it. For me, it's not necessarily possible for me to say only after lunch every single day. But if you can do that, do it because it really helps you to think about, oh, I need to go on my walk after I eat lunch today, instead of having this broad goal of I need to lose weight. You have something in your mind that you can do daily to achieve that goal. Or say, like, for another example, say you want to like grow your business. Instead of having a goal that's like, I want to grow my business, what are some other sub goals you can hit inside of that? So, I mean, just because we're in because we're in a society that is so built on social media, like you kind of rely on social media to build a business, something you could do is to be consistent with posting. So you can make goals for posting, be like, hey, I need to post 3 to 4 times a week on my business page. So then you could start to gain traction. Or even with that, like, I need to engage with other accounts so that they bring attention to my account. Something you could also do is, depending on your business, obviously, have a goal of like, I want to do 10 pop-up shops this year. Just say if you're a clothing brand, I don't know, 10 pop-up shops, you know? These are smaller goals that will help you get to the ultimate goal of building your business, of growing your business, getting more people to know about your business. So that would be my first piece of advice, is to create sub goals under whatever big, large goal you have. And you will notice, I promise you'll notice, that taking those steps and checking off those small goals will actually, in the end, when you look back on 2026, be like, oh my gosh, my business grew so much because I was doing these smaller things, if that makes sense. My second piece of advice would be to do it in community. Create and work towards your goals in community for a few reasons. One is you're just more likely to accomplish a goal whenever someone else is doing it with you, because you have someone that's going with you trying to achieve the same thing, and you're encouraging one another. And when you don't feel like doing it, the other person is, no, we're going to do it. They're kind of pushing that motivation into you. So for that, but also too, like, we just don't, as human beings, don't have the capability to be as disciplined as we need to be all the time. And so if we're just relying strictly on our own discipline, we're going to fall short every single time, because there's just going to be days where you just don't feel like doing it, or there's going to be days where you're just having a bad day and the last thing you're thinking about is accomplishing whatever goal you set. So I think whenever you have another person or multiple people, the more people, honestly, the better, because it's just more people to keep you accountable. But having someone that is keeping you accountable is going to be huge when you're accomplishing your goals. And then thirdly, this is actually a tip that I honestly just learned about. The young adult pastor that I work with, he actually told me about this. And I actually, just to preface, I haven't done it yet. Today is the first day that I'm starting it. So I haven't like fully completed it yet. But just thinking about it like relieves so much stress off my shoulders. So I know it's going to do the same for you. And my other coworker, Jack, he was also saying how he started it and it is like literally changed his life. So here is a tip that is literally going to change your life, not to be dramatic, but it's going to help you be way more organized. It's going to keep your schedule in line, and it's honestly a way to schedule your day that is less overwhelming than trying to mark off a to-do list. It's called time blocking. So instead of having a day that is run by your to-do list, where you just have a full list and you're just like, boom, 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 check, 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 what you're going to do is you're going to want to divide your day up into sections. So everything that's on your to-do list, try to group them up and make them into sections. So whatever are the top 3 or 4 things that you do in a day, categorize all your to-do lists under those categories. So, for example, let me tell you about what my day looks like today. So today my day is broken up into 3 different sections. So first, I have create content. So this can include, for me, this includes recording this podcast. This includes creating content for Instagram. This can be shooting content for brands. This can be creating anything on Canva that I need, just anything content-wise. Everything on my to-do list that falls under that category, I'm going to put it under that category, and I'm going to give a time slot for the day for everything to be done in that time slot. So today it's like, 10 to 1 is content creation time. So I don't need to worry about anything else on my to-do list for that day besides just creating content. And then when 1 hits, now I go to the next portion of my day. So the next portion of my day is, I called it adulting because I didn't know what other word to call it for. But basically, this is going to be going to the grocery store. I need to go shopping for a few things. This is going to be balancing my bank account, cleaning my room. Like, all of these things falls under my adulting category. So I'm going to put all of those things under that category, and I give myself a time again. So I think it's like 1 to 3 or something. I have all this category, all of these things to do, and I give myself from 1 to 3. And then lastly is edit content. And I think that's from like 3 to 6 or something like that. So this includes like editing this podcast, editing any reels that I have, editing any posts that I have. I'm going to do all of that from 3 to 6. So I know that was kind of a long-winded explanation, but it actually helps you to where you don't just have one huge to-do list and you're going from random thing to random thing trying to check off your to-do list. So because you could be doing like for me, it'd be like film this podcast, then go to the grocery store, then come back and meal prep, then come back and edit this podcast, then then go on a walk. And so it's just like, there's so many things that you could have on your to-do list, but creating categories where everything in your to-do list is under one of those categories, and you give yourself a time slot to do these things. So then whenever that time slot is over, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff again. Or whenever you're in that time slot, you don't have to worry about the other stuff that you have to do, but you're just really focused on getting that section and that portion of the day done. Like I said, I haven't fully done a day yet. I'm starting today. But like I said, just thinking about it just lifts so much stress off my shoulders, because I'm the type of person that like, I'll create a whole to-do list and then I don't properly time manage any of that. And so I don't get any of it. I don't get a lot of it done. And then I'm like stressed at the end of the day, stressed waking up the next day because I didn't get what I needed to get done. Wow, that was a lot. Oh my gosh. So that's the tip that I'm going to bring in with me to 2026 as far as like planning stuff. But I think that that's just a practical tip to go from your day to day to be able to accomplish certain goals. And whatever your big goals are, try to implement something in your day-to-day schedule that gets you a step closer to that goal, and put it in your time blocking. And I think it'll really, really help to achieve your goals, because you're doing something day to day to achieve those goals. So those are like my 3 tips that I have. I just love the new year because I feel like it truly is such a gift from God. Like, I love the new year because I think it is literally God's gift to us as like a fresh start. You know what I'm saying? Like, God gives us a time of the year, of every year, to give us a fresh start, to kind of put what's behind us behind, and to look forward at all the possibilities of this year, and to just give us a fresh start, to be able to restart whatever went wrong in 2025. Like, he just gives us freshness when we're walking into the new year. And for me personally, I felt like I walked into another dimension whenever this year started. And that sounds kind of dramatic, but it literally felt like, because I'll be honest, like the past like 6 months of last year, like the last 6 months, the last half of last year, it was just rough in terms of my closeness to God. I just was very undisciplined, and I could feel it taking a toll on my relationship with God. And reading my Bible was just really hard. Praying was really hard. Everything was just really hard. And I could feel it in my relationship with God. But when we walked into the new year, I kid you not, it was literally like, the best way I can describe it, and I know I keep saying this word, is just freshness. Like, it just felt like a fresh start, like a restart to my walk with God. And now I just like, I have such a fire and a passion for reading the word. Like, I love praying. And I will say too, I think that something that is going to be your biggest help and your greatest weakness is discipline. And this is going to be like the hardest thing to hear, because we kind of just all want an easy fix of like, I'm going to achieve my goals and I want it easy and I want it now. But the sole thing that is going to get you to a place of achieving your goals is going to be discipline. Because not every day is going to be easy. You're going to go through valleys and you're going to be on mountaintops. And it's in the valleys that you're going to want to quit. You're going to want to change your goals. You're going to want to diminish the goals that you had. But in those moments is when discipline plays a key factor, because it's really easy to just roll over and die. But when you have discipline to do something that you don't really want to do in that moment, is actually going to get you to a place in the future where you're achieving your goals. And so I just want to encourage you guys that, like, just because you don't want to do it, just because you may not be seeing the fruits of your discipline right now, doesn't mean you won't in the future. Doesn't mean you won't reap a harvest in the future through remaining disciplined now. It was the same thing for me, like, I guess with prayer. Like, I was just struggling. I was like, I don't even see the fruits of this. Like, I feel like I'm just praying to the wall. But you're like playing a long game when you're, praying was just an example I used. But when you're trying to achieve goals, you're playing the long game. Things aren't going to come easy, and there's going to be times where it looks like you're going to fail. But when you remain disciplined and do things that you don't want to do, that's going to be the key to achieving your goals, is to remain disciplined and to have self-control. Because motivation's going to come and go, but discipline despite motivation is going to be the key to achieving your goals. Because there's going to be some days where you feel like you want to do it. There's going to be some days where you don't. And in the future, you're going to look back and be like, man, I really wish I would have been disciplined in doing what I needed to do instead of relying on my feelings and emotions of being motivated, because you're going to be further behind in achieving those goals. The last thing I want to say is make sure your goals and your aspirations are going to give God the most glory and are pleasing to God, and they're not just selfish goals that will turn attention to you. Because I think it's very easy to, even when you're doing things like, I want to grow my business. Okay, why? Why do you want to grow your business? Is it so that you can make more money? Is it so that people will see you and adore you? Or is it maybe you want to make more money, but you want to make more money to give to ministry, to give to missions, to give to the homeless, or is it to like provide for your family? So just make sure your goals are pleasing to God and are going to bring him the most glory. My dad's starting to work outside, so that's my cue. I need to head out. I love you guys so much, and I just want to encourage you guys, do this with God. Achieve your goals with God, because he can give you the strength to continue going. He gives you the strength, and he's the one that like gave you a beautiful mind to come up with these ideas. Like, he's so creative and he wants to help you achieve these goals. And be prayerful about everything. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, everything. It really helps the podcast out. And follow on social media. I also have a quick update about that. I actually just deleted TikTok, and honestly, I feel so much better. Like, I don't know why, I just never really liked TikTok. It just always gave me, it always made me feel anxious and stuff. So I deleted TikTok, so I'm not going to be posting on there anymore, but I do still have Instagram and YouTube, and I'll be uploading there. So go follow on Instagram and YouTube, and I will see you guys next week. Peace and love. Bye.